As we've said all morning, we are just blown away by the generosity we've witnessed during our Donate for Dementia campaign, with all proceeds going to the Alzheimer's Society of Ireland. We have just checked in, and so far, you at home have helped raise €925,000. And Virgin Media have just announced they are bringing that total to €1 million with their donation. Yes, you heard us right. €1 million has now been raised for the Alzheimer's Society of Ireland. Martin King and Chief Executive of the Alzheimer's Society of Ireland, Pat McLaughlin, join us now for their reaction. Pat, can you believe it's $1 million now?
Yeah, shocked, thrilled, humbled, I would say, by it. An extraordinary week for us, and thanks a mil to Virgin Media Television. An extraordinary week for us, really built up from the first programmes right up until Sunday night, which was an extraordinary night of viewing. And we didn't have a target because we had no idea. We're a relatively small charity, you know, although there are 64,000 people with dementia, living with dementia. In terms of cancer, cardiovascular, it's small, but it's a massive issue, and brilliant work.
Well, Martin King, you are here. Let's see that big fat cheque that you have. Tommy Bowe is outside. You've already been taking pictures of this cheque.
Right there.
Tommy, fantastic the week that we've had with this.
I cannot believe it. Can you believe it? Karen, last Monday when we left, there was €7,000 we had raised, and we thought we'd done so well. So to be holding that cheque, Martin, listen, I think as well, a lot of credit has to go to Martin for being so open and so honest in that documentary you did, Martin, as well. I think that really touched the heart of so many people. So congratulations. Wow, I'm blown. $1 million. Well done. Thank you, everybody at home. And I'm stuck outside.
You have to be, so that we can be COVID safe. Martin, how does it feel to be holding a cheque for €1 million now?
Well, you know, that's my salary. So it's... No, look, this is absolutely incredible. I know you're shocked and you're humbled. I'm not surprised. And the reason I'm not surprised is because we live in a very giving nation, and when you look back even as far as Live Aid, you know, as a country with such a small population, we gave more to that than any other country in the world by head of population. And just the other night I thought, I think we're going to hit $1 million, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be holding this and saying, Pat, it's yours, and it's yours to put into, because I know for the last 12 months it's really been hit hard. Carers haven't been able to go into homes and give people respite. And this is going to be a massive help.
Thanks a mil for the million.
Thanks a mil for the mil. How is this money going to make a difference? Where's the million
going to make a massive difference. We had nearly 50 day centres that had to close a year ago. We have to adapt those now because of COVID, because of social distancing. We've got to invest in those. We've got to try and continue to provide family care training for everybody who comes forward for it, because there's 11,000 people every year who are diagnosed. We want to do a lot more in relation to our daycare at home service, a brand new service. We want to adapt our mobile information service. There are so many projects that we've lined up to do that this gives us enormous encouragement and hope, and we really appreciate the generosity of the public. We knew they were generous. They give us about 3.5 million each year, but it's been a tough year for people, and we didn't know whether they would be in a position to put their hands in their pockets or text donate. It's been an extraordinary week for us. It
really has, Martin, and what an extraordinary documentary that you broadcast on Sunday night. I was blown away by it. What has the feedback been like since it aired?
It's been massively positive, which I'm delighted to say. I'm hearing from people that I haven't heard from for years, and they've all been touched in some way by dementia, be it with their parents or with grandparents, with other family members. And it's something that's going to grow. The numbers are going to double between now and the year 2050. So we need to change, as Professor Lawler said, we need to change the narrative from one of despair to one of hope. And that's what we are trying to do with this as well. Not false hope, real hope. That's what we're trying to give people. And just, you know, allow people to see that there are those 64,000 people in Ireland that are living with, not necessarily dying from. Dementia. They're living with it and living good quality lives. I'm thinking of Sean, I'm thinking of Marguerite, and then there are the carers and their family carers who take on the job because, you know, it's a loved one and they want to give their very best. And I'm thinking of Simon Murphy, who looks after his mum and has looked after his mum, and just you could see the love he had for Jackie.
God, it was incredible.
Just incredible.
It was incredible. Of course, we've been doing jumping jacks as well all week because of the Jack Charlton documentary. And that must give you such heart when you see members of the public just going for it and getting behind the campaign.
Absolutely. The reaction on social media has been absolutely phenomenal, and the reaction from companies, the reaction from individuals. It's been an extraordinary week. We weren't actually sure, how it would take off. We were hoping, but it's been extraordinary. And Martin's documentary, an extraordinary piece of television. And it was about hope, and it was about the ability to mitigate risk factors and the people who are living well with dementia after the diagnosis. It's a difficult diagnosis, but Marguerite proves it, Sean proves it. You can go on and live a great life, which is tremendous. It's challenging, and that comes in time, but we're there for people right through that journey.
What the programming did as well, I felt, right across through what we showed, what 6 o'clock showed, and all the programmes across the week, was just to take away the stigma, to feel like don't let the friends fall by the wayside if you know someone in your circle who has received this diagnosis.
Yeah, absolutely. And we encourage people to come forward if they have any concerns and try and get a diagnosis. And then we ask people to please stay doing what you're doing. There are a lot of supports. You can stay dealing with the clubs, working wherever you are. You can stay at work. So many people give up work. And they don't need to. And I think employers will change their attitudes towards dementia, and they are doing that. And the message really is that you can live well with it and stay attending generic services as long as you possibly can. We'll be there for you in the end.
Isn't it, Pat? People need to know that they're socially included.
Absolutely.
That we don't write them off. That we say, look, they're the same person they were the day before the diagnosis.
Yeah.
So we need to treat them the same.
Yeah. Have you been surprised by any of the reaction, from friends and family? Because you're exposing yourself as well when you're showing that side of your life.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the images you were showing of my mum, and it's a nice, it's nice to tell her story, and there are a number of other family relatives that got dementia, but listen, Chrissy, she had in the early years, she was all around the world making various trips. She enjoyed her life, so she lived with it and enjoyed living with it. Yes, there were bouts of aggression and there were behavioural changes, and there were worrying moments, but it's a nice tribute to her, I think. I'm very proud of my sisters who got involved in it as well.
Absolutely, you should be. Have calls increased to your phone line, Pat?
They have. Calls doubled in the week to the helpline. We get about 5,000 calls a year. That's the second busiest Alzheimer helpline in Europe.
Wow.
And we get that number of calls. We also made about 30,000 calls out to people who are living with dementia and their carers since the lockdown, because people really living with dementia, they feel they've been in level 5 since the very beginning, because they haven't been able to attend face-to-face services. So please do continue to ring the helpline and continue to go on our website, where there are very good information resources that have been developed in conjunction with people with dementia. We're living with dementia and carers. They're at the heart of what we do.
And in terms of in terms of the training that you can provide carers, that's key as well, isn't it? Particularly when you're trying to survive level 5 restrictions.
Absolutely. And while we had a lot of face-to-face family care training, we had to move everything online. And yet the demand has been phenomenal. And we want to try and make sure that we can continue to meet that demand, because we did a study of this some years ago, and we found that only 1 in 4 spousal carers had training. Yeah. And that's very difficult for people if they're trying to handle something like dementia or Alzheimer's without understanding what to do and how to do it.
Well, Pat, on behalf of Virgin Media, everyone behind the scenes who you don't get to see at home, who contributed so much to Martin, look at it there. That's a lovely figure to be going home with. A massive round of applause, folks. Unbelievable result. Congratulations. Not bad going, eh, Tommy?
Phenomenal. Isn't that just incredible? €1 million. Thank you to everybody who has got involved.